you. So, sorry you have me again, but unfortunately Olivier couldn't be here. But because I'm somewhat familiar with the project, I offered to present the slides for him. So, the important takeaway here, though, we talked quite a bit about measurements and how we assess the state of IPv6 deployment and adoption. The good takeaway is to go to IPv6matrix.org. It's all fairly intuitive what you can do there. Nice globe where you can look at the deployment worldwide or in specific countries and drill down into the data. That's the main takeaway. But I've got some slides here to explain a little bit about the history of it, how it evolved, and some of the features it has quickly. So it stems back to 2009. Gosh, that seems so long ago, where ISOC England got a small award to be able to implement a crawler, by which they mean a piece of software that can determine somehow a list of domains to go and probe and see what information it could glean about each of those domains and the IPv6 capability to support IPv6 transport to DNS servers, web servers, mail exchanges, and NTP servers, the sort of thing we heard about this morning. And the rationale at the time was that there weren't that many sources like that. Obviously, things have changed since this was first created, but there was enough of a gap there for ISOC England to put a bit of money towards it to get the project bootstrapped. The way that they've chosen to do this is to look at the DNS records for the top majestic million sites. That used to be Alexa. Is that the same as Majestic, or is that something else now? It's something very different, is it? Okay, I'm seeing some nods. At the time I was involved, that was Alexa. And then to test, as I said, for v6 connectivity to the different public-facing services that you'd expect a site and organization to have if it was serious about IPv6. And it does some further processing, looking at the geolocation. And of course, it's interesting with v6 how accurate the geolocation services are, and looking at the responsiveness and the paths for different v6 and v4 instances of the same domain to see how they compare. And that was equivalent to testing 7+ million hosts worldwide. Now they don't do that continuously. It's a monthly scan they do. I remember being involved with hosting this, so I'll come on to that now and then I'll tell you the little anecdote. So yeah, at the time there were a number of other sources available, and some of these have grown since. Some of them have been a little bit static. The bottom one there, the APNIC one, we saw the chart of that earlier. I think Veronica presented that to show where we were with v6 in the UK. The one I'd just draw you to there is mrp.net. I think that's Mark Pryor in Australia, IPv6 survey. And it's a nice tool because it also looks at other things beyond just v6. And I sent him a list of the 160 universities. Someone mentioned earlier, I think it was David, 5,000 odd .ac.uk domains. He was absolutely right. Most of those are just projects, many of which have been maybe not so active. But of those, about 160 are universities. And so those are all in that list. If you go to that link, you will see the genuine state of the 160 universities in the UK. And if you're not aware of that, David, I'd suggest having a little look at it. So yes, the matrix, the software has evolved over time. It was developed originally by some people who were paid by ISOC England a small amount. And I think that was, yes, unfortunately hosted in Nile University, and then they had political issues, so it got moved. And then that's where I got involved at the University of Southampton. I'd spoken to Olivier, I said how nice and useful I found the crawler. And I said, well, I've got project students, fourth-year MSc students, they look for, or we're supposed to find them, projects where they collaborate with someone with the industry and help them prototype and build something. So what we did for that was to completely redesign and rebuild the crawler software and the visualization tools. And one of the things Southampton's good at is one of the first universities to be involved with open data and to push open data principles. That's now a fundamental tenet of what government does with open data. And the way we brought that onto this is to say, yes, all the visualizations and everything are great, but what we need to do is make sure you can export the data openly and freely in a nice, simple format, JSON, whatever it is. So yeah, do all the measurements, but please make them openly available in a simple way. So yeah, the crawler infrastructure is relocated to us, and the students built a new version of the software. Yeah, more efficient crawler. Oh no, this is, sorry. Yeah, so having then left Southampton, or having been encouraged to leave Southampton, how should I put it, the server needed a new home, so it was migrated to virtual hosting off a physical server and into the modern age and virtually hosted. And there was a new rewrite done, more efficient. I'm not sure what that says about the students, but I'm sure, I'm sure it was good then, and I'm sure it's good now, with some new options on the web interface, but still this principle of being able to export the data freely, which I'll come on to in a moment. Hosting provided, again, thank you, Pete at Mythic Beasts for that. And yeah, it's still at IPv6matrix.org. And as I said as well, it's a monthly basis, and the total database size is getting up towards a terabyte there. And all that information you can pull out. So there's some screenshots here. As I said, you can obviously go to the domain and look at it yourself. We thought about doing a live demo, but you know how live demos turn out, so we decided just to keep it with some screenshots. And you can see here, that's the globe now. If you were on your device, you could spin the globe, you could click on a country to drill down and see more information about it. And I think when you first fire it up, it'll do an animation from when they started gathering the data, 2010, through to 2025, and you can see how it changes over time. I think, David, some of the data you had missing, it might be in here if you choose to crawl it and pull it out. So the way you had that question mark, the answer might be buried in the matrix.org data. So yeah, just a few examples of the different visualizations here. The host percentage by country over time, where there's, I guess the United States is quite high because a lot of that is the .com, .org, .net type of domains. What have we got here? Host percentage by country over time. So the percentage of IPv6 hosted enabled, so we're at about 50%, and that shows you the breakdown. The different service types, web, NTP, name server, and MX. Yes. Yeah, Olivier sent me a note about why there was a spike, but I've completely forgotten what he wrote in the note, but there's a very good excuse for why that spike was there. Sorry, Olivier, if you're watching the recording. But again, that's showing you the service type over time. What's this showing you? Dual stack versus v4 only versus v6 only. What do we hear? The domains by country over time. What's different there? Not sure, sorry. Percentage of domains with, okay, that's web. The previous one was, any service enabled, and this one's specifically web. So the breakdown is not that different. Maybe the rest of the world is slightly stronger overall, and maybe the US hosted top-level domains are slightly better for web hosting. And then just finally, just showing that you can export raw data from this for any amount of it. There's an interface where you can choose what you want to access over what period of time for what types of tests. So there's some test results for different web domains. And here you can get it out also in JSON format if that's what you prefer to see as well, and then you can process that in any way you like. So I think that's one of the nice features about it, that it's not just that it's doing that analysis, you can pull out all the data and do what you like with it, and even generate, throw it into Grafana or something that you want to do, and do your own visualizations for your own use case. Okay, that's it. I said I'd try and make it as quick as possible. Yes, go to the domain. If you've got any questions about it, or want to know why that spike was there, you can email Olivier at ISOC England via contact@isoc-e.org. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Tim. That was quick indeed. Any questions?
Oh, can you go wait for the mic?
Sorry, I'm now on the executive committee of what was Internet Society England, which is now Internet Society UK.
Oh, sorry.
No, it was up until very recently. And then also the website is now internetsociety.uk.
Okay. But yeah, I was just looking at the email address, so I assumed that would be the web domain as well.
It's all changing over now.
Okay.
Any
Yes,
other
it's also, I mean, if you just quickly, yeah, it's also worth pointing out that they do a lot of other things beyond just V6, a lot of very important policy-based discussion and so on. If you want, anyone as an individual, I believe, can join and get involved on the list. So look up ISOC UK, get involved if you want to.
Okay, thank you, Tim.